Hey there folks, welcome back to Grim Dawn. So before we get into things, a couple of things I want to clear up from what I was saying last time, or at least just point out. On weapons, okay, the integer elemental damage, okay, so on this gun, the 2 to 3 fire damage only acts on, attacks from this gun. Okay, we don't get plus 2 to 3 fire damage when we cast our magic missile. But the plus 9% fire damage is a static ability given by this item to any spells we cast. I mean, this may be pretty familiar to those of you who have played things like Diablo 2, where that was pretty much the way things worked. But just in case, just to make sure we're all on the same page, that is true. And as far as I know, skills like this one that are auto cast also work off of skills. But I am not 100% sure on that. I'll have to double check and get back with you probably in a future video. Probably put it in the description below if that is wrong. Another thing, I was talking about the chance to hit probability against high ranking enemies. That is still the case, okay? But when I said when you went below 75%, it was the difference between 75 and wherever you were was the amount of damage you were losing. I was wrong. It is a percentage, okay? So you would divide where you are, your chance to hit, by 75%. So it can be decidedly more dramatic than that to go below 75%. But the positive is when you level up, remember we could put points into physique and cunning to gain 4 defensive and 4 offensive ability respectively. That's that's defensive from physique and offensive from cunning. But we also get a plus 10 to each when we level up. So again, because you're also leveling up in your in whatever class you are, you're pretty unlikely to, for anything that's not way ahead of you in level, to run into that 75% barrier. But you still may want to throw some points into cunning, or do something else to get your offensive ability above 90% or even above 100%, because unlike, say, Diablo 2, you can actually get to 100% chance to hit in this game to get that increased chance for critical hits. Alright, and let's see, is there anything else I want to go over? Oh yeah, I mentioned that this is a rare item. In this game, our rare items are green. There are also green items that are technically unique. They're called monster infrequents, that can drop from a specific monster, a specific named monster, and they dropped with some static ability, but they also roll from all the available affixes. And yellow items here are magical items. They can have 1 or 2 affixes on them. So, and the rest of these are just normal common items. These have red outlines. Well, this one has red outline because we cannot equip it. Another thing on blocking, okay, so we see the 50% chance to block 25 damage on the plank shield and 50% chance to block 32 damage on the round shield. That's how much they can block. Clearly, the block recovery, okay, when you block, you don't go into like a hit recovery like in Diablo 2 where you can't do anything else. You just can't block again for however long the block recovery is. So be very mindful of that. If you have a long block recovery, maybe you want to be a little bit careful around really fast hitting enemies. So yeah, let's proceed onward for now. We are intending to intending to find Burial Hill. And we could go back to town and speak to Faldus. We can probably do that after we do the hill, though. Ooh. Scrap. So, scrap is an item in this game, clearly, but it has a lot of uses for, fixing things, for, there are some quests you will be sent on that require you to recover scrap for people. So it's fairly nice. Mutagenic ichor. That's some tasty sounding stuff. I don't want any of that. I don't want any of that on my turnips, man. Thank you. Please and no thank you. Alright, so let's see. Yeah, hat-wise, okay, we did equip the leather helm. Good deal. Proceed onward. We've reached Burial Hill. And you see this was a green rift, which meant it was in control of the ethereals, but when we got close, it switched on over to us. Because it's a turncoat, and we should not trust it with our lives. And because of those same reasons, let's hop in. And we see here, once you have secured a rift gate, you can use it just like a waypoint in, say, Diablo 2, and you can go to any other waypoints you may have. You can also, as we saw with Faldus, drop your own rift gate and use that instead. You can take any of the normal rift gates and hop back into your old one. Unlike Diablo 2 town portals, it doesn't close when you come back through. So that can be helpful. That can also be a little bit hurtful if you forget sometime and you go back by one of the main rifts and then, run to your old portal and lose a little time because then you're like, oh no, I was 3 areas ahead of whatever. So, just a small thing.
The dead are rising in droves and will overwhelm us with sheer numbers at the rate things are going. Head to Burial Hill and destroy whatever is reviving them.
Sir, yes sir, expendable reporting, sir. I didn't actually mean to click on you. Let's. So this is our Griswold. Well, he's not actually our Griswold. He's our God, who is he? I guess he's our. Yeah, Geed's not a great choice either. Look, this is our guy. This is our guy to sell crap to. That's what he is today. He's our crap buying guy. So we'll sell him our crap. Oh, and also notice I didn't mention it with the shields before, but they have physical damage on them. There are some skills that deal physical damage. They attack with the shield, and then the shield will deal damage. So the shield will take damage from the shield itself instead of from the weapon. Again, kind of similar to how things like Smite worked in Diablo 2. And yeah, we'll go ahead and swap those. And just in case I didn't make it clear before, I'm just right-clicking to do all of this this quick move stuff. I guess when we level up, we're probably going to. Yeah, we're probably going to be able to wear these. So for now, we'll hold on to them. Okay, so another thing about components I didn't mention: they drop as partial components. Right, you find partial components out in the wild. And again, I'm going to be a little bit anal about this. Find partial components out in the wild, and these can be used either to either in crafting or to improve weapons. You can put these in weapons to make them better. That'll be a little bit further down the quest line, but at that point, you can actually put you can only have one component in a weapon, but it takes 3 partials to make a completed component. So you can either assemble them all, put them together, and then put them in the item, or you can put them in piecemeal, one at a time, as partial components. So, say we wanted to put a battered shell in our shield. We could put our one partial here. We would get the listed bonus, And then the next time we found a battered shell, we could put it in. We could get our next set of bonus. And then when we found the third, we put it in, and we would have our completed component bonus. Now, of course, you're still limited by the one completed component, so you can't put a battered shell in and then mix and match by throwing in, I don't know, like a polished emerald. That won't work, but there we go. We don't have a lot of gold, but can we pick up something? We've got gloves on the way. So like a shoulder pad. It doesn't look like there's one we can use. And we'll drop a little bit of money on these pants. And yeah, sure, we'll grab a belt just to say we have a belt. Not necessarily the best use of money, but Alright, check our map here. Does it tell us where Faldis might be? Alright, looks like he may not be currently available to us, so we'll just head back to the Rift Gate. We'll go back to Lower Crossing, and we'll proceed onward with our mission. Looks like some caravan had a rough day. Ah, cool, signposts. Burial Hill is that away. Good deal. Way to Whitemire. I'm not sure I like the sound of Whitemire. Hello, random dead dudes. Yeah, alright. Everything's coming up, not dead guy. Ooh, something called an Aether Crystal that drops Aether Crystals. I bet that means those mean something. My gaming senses are tingling. Alright, we'll proceed onward here. I don't know what that is, but I don't like it. Please stop touching me with your noodly appendage, Mr. Sitting Spaghetti Monster. Woodman's Axe. Alright, let's pick up the crystal here. Alright, so yeah, we picked up our offensive and defensive ability, so that was nice. Let's put some points in spirit. Again, I could have dumped that in physique, I know, to open this up, but should be fine. Alright, we'll gain, so that's 58, 60, and then we'll put a point into our, ooh, okay, this will increase the fragments we get out of our magic missile. That'll be quite nice. Good deal. Good deal. Alright, so that should mean we can now equip our, ooh, I miscounted, right, we were at, okay. Fair enough. Oh well. We'll level up again eventually. You guys could probably, like, sleep a lot better if you didn't hang out in a... I don't know what this crap is, but... Okay, there's just a big eye shooting lightning or frost balls or whatever at me. That's nice. That's what I leave the house for, man. That's really it. Yeah, that was 100 iron well spent buying that there belt. I feel like a smart man. Devotion shrines, indeed. Well, sounds like we're gonna have some interesting stuff going. The source of the dead is near. Okay. She's in tune with it. She's the dead whisperer. Interesting. Tonic of Mending. Very nice. Definitely a fan of having more healing potions. Okay, that's Kazog the Reanimator, level 5. Alright, let's not get surrounded by randoms while we're trying to fight Mr. Scary Boss Man. So these purple names, just like in some of the other ARPG type games, the boss types are color coded. Let's see here. A purple boss is a hero? I believe that's not true. I believe that's considered a legendary boss. To put it in terms I'm a little more familiar with, okay? In Diablo 2 it would be called a super unique. Yeah, that's right. Because I believe orange are heroes, which would be the uniques. So we got a nice bit of loot there. We got some magical items. We got some non-magical items. We got a component here. Yeah, so we've got a cudgel. I guess it's actually a mace, and we've got an axe. It looks like we'll be selling both of them. That's a-okay. All right, so yeah, he was down here. So hopefully, there's another journeyman's pack. Flintlock rifle. All right, so a rifle. Eek. This thing's hit pretty hard. A rifle should be a two-handed gun, which has a little more kick, clearly. I guess they are lightning balls. You can, there's, down here, when you're hit by a constant effect thingamabobber. Yes, I'm going to use the technical term, folks. I'm sorry if that interferes with any of you. A constant effect thingamabobber. It shows up in the bottom right here. Eesh. And as soon as we're done dead making all these no longer dead corpses, get these cocooned remains, I will kind of explain there. Unlike a lot of these types of games, specifically the Diablo games, there are 10, not 12, not 14, not 16, not 6, not 7, not 8, not enough, but these types of damage in this game. So we've got pretty much the ones you're going to think about right offhand, right? Your physical, just normal stuff. You got your cold, you got your fire, you got your lightning. You've also got your acid, and let's see, you've got chaos, and all the other doctors. You've got butters. Alright, folks, I've got this listed, but I guess I didn't have this, let's see, let's scroll up on my list here. Make sure I'm not lying to you good people. Okay, yes, physical fire, cold, lightning, acid, vitality, pierce, bleeding, aether, and chaos. Those are your 10 types of damage. In addition to, these are direct types of damage. Several of these have duration damages. Physical duration damage is called internal trauma. This is a dot. Which stands for damage over time. I may at times use dot, so I hope we're all on the same page when I say that. For fire, the duration damage is a burn. Cold, the duration damage is frost burn damage for raisins, who knows. Lightning, the duration damage is called electrocute. Okay. And for acid, the duration damage is called poison. There's also for vitality, which I hope I mentioned before. If I didn't, I am now. The duration damage is called vitality decay damage. That one's a little convoluted. I'm not gonna lie. They had to work a little bit to construct that one. But so it goes. So, with that out of the way, we can deal with this. So we had the pop-up before talking about devotion shrines. And we saw in our skills, see there's this tab here for devotion. So this is something in this game to further personalize your experience in the playthrough. It's a skill and bonus based system. So excuse me, folks. There are two basic types of shrines you will find out in the wild. There's a ruined shrine, which is just fallen, into disrepair and decay, and can be salvaged by putting in a material. In this case, it's going to be an aether crystal that it requires, but it could be lots of different materials. But a ruined shrine will always require you to put in a material. You put it in, you offer it to the shrine, and you cleanse the shrine. The other type of shrine is it's not ruined, it's infested. I don't remember what the exact terminology is in the game, what moniker they use, but it's been imbued, ensorcelled, perverted with the demonic or otherworldly or whatever bad guy juice power, and you have to fight whatever's in there to cleanse those particular shrines. We're going to offer one of our aether crystals here. Fortunately, we've had plenty of those things to kill, and we get a little loot, and we also get a devotion point. So first, let's grab our loot. And we can click on the shrine, but it doesn't do anything because each shrine has already been restored. Alright, let's go ahead and we'll equip that because it's just strictly better. Yeah, here we go. A scrap metal blunderbuss. It's basically an arm cannon. We don't have enough cunning to run that presently, though. Yeah, there's the flintlock rifle. It is a considerable amount damage. Yes, it is a considerable amount damage. I can English. It is a considerable amount more damage than what we're currently using, but it would also make it kind of tough. Make it kind of tough to have a place to put anything. Yeah, no, we could put the gun there. Sure. All right. We lose the whole fireball thing, but that's all right. We get more straight up damage out of this rifle for now. Also picked up a ring. They come in silver, platinum, and gold bands, I believe. So yeah, plus 5% spirit and some energy regeneration per second. Very, very nice. All right. So on to skills. Again, same as before. I'm going to throw a skill in Arcanist. That opens up the next level, the next tier of skills. Now, if we had taken this skill, we can now take this passive, which would reduce, or which would, yeah, see, the first thing there is reduction, which would boost this skill. Everything, pretty much what it looks like. Everything on a tier is sort of connected. That's why they're required, and then they lead onward. This directly branches off, so this will directly affect this particular skill, and presumably only this skill. So I do kind of like this particular skill. It has fire damage, so we could get a bonus from this if we were still using Francis's gun, but I'm going to go ahead and put a point in this. This is a sort of melee range. You see there's a 4.2 meter radius that is centered on you. It's sort of a Nova ability, so, and it's based off our main hand damage, so whatever our weapon is, it boosts off of that. And then I'm just going to put another point in, yeah, I'll put another point in our magic missile, and just keep boosting that up. So now let's go to our devotion tab. Yeah, so I would like to confirm the changes. Oh, sorry, just a second there. I would like to confirm the changes. Now, this is called the Crossroad. Okay, this is, yes, I know, this is, you're just seeing this and it's freaking you out. Well, that's completely understandable. Okay, just let's focus on this to begin with. This is where your first devotion point will go. This is called the Crossroads, and we will see you at the Crossroads. If you get lonely, look, I'm not Bone Thugs and Harmony, but you gotta admit, that song is boss. Anyway, so putting devotion points in one of the crossroads will give you some affinity towards one of these. Well, give you some points towards one of these different affinities. All right, and more or less, from reading over these, you can kind of figure out what it is you're looking for. Like, the Eldritch affinity represents the wild forces of magic and the metaphysical realms beyond the veil. So, you're going to have some kind of magical stuff on that line. Ascendant beings have risen to godlike status through immense feats or reverence for their lessers. I mean, that's, you figure that's sort of like a paladin type thing. Chaotic beings crave entropy and destruction above all else. You kind of figure that's where an occultist is going to want to be, because I'm not saying they're crazy, I'm just saying Johnny's different. So you want to pick one of these crossroads that gives you, that opens up the affinity you're looking for. In this case, I kind of think, so I've definitely done, Eldritch is the one I unlocked last time. I'm not nearly as up on these as I thought I was, because I thought these options were a touch different. So I tell you what, folks, I'm going to be right back while I go and excuse me, double check my research, and I will see you back in just, hopefully, literal seconds. Hey there, folks. So I will admit, this I had thought that this devotion system was a lot more on rails than it seems to be, and that you were sort of, choosing these based on what archetype you were going into. As it turns out, that's not actually the case. You see, there's pretty much something for whatever you want to do in each of these affinities, and there are. You see, there's all these constellations. All right, there are first-tier constellations, which are pretty much straightforward. There's second-tier constellations, which bring in some cross-pollination. I'm going to go with from different affinities, and then there are third-tier constellations, which have some steeper cost in terms of how much affinity you have to build up to get into them, and tend to cost 2 or 3, or I believe in some cases even 4 different types of affinities to unlock. So, how does this work, is what you're wondering. Well, you pick based on these crossroads. The color you get here matches over here. You get an affinity point into that affinity. That lets you, one affinity point will let you take any of the constellations in tier 1 of that affinity. You can put points into whichever one of those you want, and when you finish that constellation, you will get an affinity bonus. So this affinity bonus can be differing amounts. It can either be all in one color, or it can be in multiple colors. A breakdown of different colors. Excuse me. And when you build up, by building up more affinity points, you unlock being able to go into the second tier constellations, which will give you less in the way of an affinity bonus when you finish them, but the powers you get are a little better. And then when you get to the third tier, you get no affinity bonus for finishing a constellation, But what you do get is some pretty sick abilities, or some pretty sick bonuses and abilities. You can get actual skills. You can get powers from these constellations. So I've decided which one I'm going to go with. So again, going across the wheel here, you see you get an immediate benefit depending on which one you take. In this case, I'm going to go with Primordial. So we're going to get 15 defensive ability right off the bat. Now, we do not have another devotion point to unlock, to go into whichever one of these we would like to go into, but we do get this ability right ahead, straight off, and as you can see, yeah, see these are the affinity requirements to get into this next rank up here. But on the other hand, when we grab our next devotion point, we can start off in any of these Lord, what is the name of the thing? Primordial constellations we want. In my case, I've decided I want to do Imp. And so we see these at each step we will get a different bonus, and then at the end we will get the complete constellation bonus of 3 primordial and 3 eldritch affinity bonuses, and we will also unlock a new ability here called Aether Fire. And these abilities you get, I believe they're called Celestial Powers. And by I believe, I mean that is absolutely certain what they're called. Whether they are named that in the game now or not, that's what they should be called because I said so. Aether Fire, in this case, gives 3-second duration, some fire damage, some aether damage, 10% chance to confuse target. You may see there that says experience. As you use these skills, they'll level up. Ones in Tier 1 get to level 20. Ones in Tier 2 get to level 15. Ones in Tier 3 get to level 10. And they get stronger at each level. So, yeah, it's a pretty cool system. I think it's rather interesting. And we'll be exploring it, going forward. And also, I do want to point out, I had said that auto cast skills on items, I believe, work on actual skills. Like when we fire our magic missile, when we had this equipped, I believe there was the 8% chance on attack. Note that even though it says on attack, this means on hit. So if you're missing, you're not getting the bonus. You're not getting the opportunity to proc there. I'd said I believe that works on skills. I have seen nothing on their website or in any wiki to disprove that, but I have to admit I have not been watching particularly carefully. Maybe some of you could confirm, deny, but I believe, best I know, that is the case. So I'm going to go ahead and stuff our point in spirit. We will equip our gloves. And yeah, folks, we're going to take a break here. I hope to see you next time on Grim Dawn. Sure, we'll call that an outro.